Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everyone. This is Dr. Ayo. I need to know if you can hear me right now as I'm speaking right now. Okay. We have a lot of people waiting already. Okay. Um, Let me just know in the comments if you can hear me right now. If you can hear me, if you can hear the sound of my voice, just drop loud in the chat. Okay. So that we start right away. If you can hear the sound of my voice, drop loud in the chat. Let me know so that we can start right away. So welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Right. Okay. So we're about to get started. We are about to get started, and when we start, we are going full throttle. Okay. So get set, get ready. It's going to be an amazing ride. Welcome everybody. Welcome Chinyere. Welcome Happy. Welcome Adetechi. Bola Elizabeth. Modisola Adeyemi. Elizabeth Aduni. Everybody, you are all welcome here. Okay, so what you need to do right now, quickly take the link that got you here, share it with everybody. Okay. Take the link that got you here, share it with everybody who needs to be here before we get started. We are starting in a couple of minutes right now. Okay, so that they won't miss anything. Welcome everybody. It's good to see you all here today. I hope you can see my face. Okay. If you can see my face, let me know in the chat. Just type play. So if you can see my face and you can also hear the sound of my voice, drop loud and clear in the chat. Loud and clear in the chat. So I know we are good to go. Okay. This is going to be an amazing ride. It's going to be a very, very, very amazing ride because what I'm going to be sharing here tonight is going to liberate some of you. It's going to get you that freedom you want. So I need everybody to pay rapt attention. Okay, we all know what we are discussing tonight here. We are discussing diabetes remission. Diabetes remission. Okay, how we can reverse diabetes, how we can bring diabetes back to remission. Okay, that's what we're going to be discussing here tonight. Okay, so are you ready? If you are ready, let me know in the chat. If you are ready, if you are happy and you know, if you are ready and you know, say ready. If you are ready and you know, say ready, say ready. Okay, have you shared the link to everybody? Because we are going live right now. Okay, let me just share the link once more to everybody on the group. So nobody will say they didn't see the link. Oh. Okay, I hope you can still hear my voice. I hope you can still hear my voice. I need you to confirm if you can still hear my voice. Good. So if you can hear me, if everything is set up properly, just type one in the chat. So once I type one, I know we are good to go. Okay. Just give me a one in the chat. One in the chat. I'm right there with you in the chat, monitoring if everything's going well. Just give me a one in the chat so I know we are good to go. Okay. All right. So welcome everybody. We are going to be discussing diabetes remission. So this is a class to help you understand diabetes and how to reverse diabetes. So I pray I finish everything I have in store with you tonight because I don't want this to be too long. But in case it's getting too long, that means we might have a part two. Okay. All right. So diabetes remission. So I would like you to just pay attention, keep all your questions to the end. Okay. So if there's enough time, we'll take care of the questions at the end. Or if there's not enough time, we'll be taking care of the questions in the community. Right now, before we get started, I need you to click on the subscribe button right now to get subscribed to this channel so that more classes and more exposures like this that we're going to be putting out here on this channel will not miss you out. So you are not going to be able, you won't miss out all this information that we're putting out here. So if you are somebody who likes to learn about what to make them live long and how to help them maintain their health, then this channel is the right channel for you to just click the subscribe button so that you subscribe. It's free. Just click the subscribe button down below them. Also, to let YouTube know that what we are doing is something you like, click on the like button as well. Okay, we can have hundreds of people here who are interested in what we're discussing about, and we just have maybe a couple of likes. Okay, it does not resonate. Okay, so if the type of person who knows that what you are going to get here, or the value you are about to get, or the value you already be getting on the channel is something that you like, is something that you like to keep on getting, then click the like button to let the algorithm know that people like what we are doing, so that we can do more of that. Okay, so click the like button. So diabetes remission masterclass. Well, masterclass. Anyhow. Okay, so we'll discuss diabetes. We'll discuss remission. How to bring. I'll be making use of the word remission and reversal. They mean the same thing. Okay, so how can we get diabetes back to remission? All right. Now, you see, I know there are quite a lot of people here who probably are already diabetic, or who have been on drugs, or who are on insulin, shots, and all sorts. Okay. Now, diabetes control is a lifelong effort. Please pay attention. So, diabetes control is a lifelong effort. It takes effort. It takes attention. It takes commitment to be able to. It takes discipline to be able to win over diabetes. Okay. So, a lot of people, so many people even believe that diabetes is more difficult than high blood pressure, hypertension. Okay? That's some people's belief. So that's how crazy diabetes is. So diabetes is not something that you play with. Diabetes is not something. In fact, some people even believe that diabetes is a rich man problem because it consumes a lot of money, it consumes a lot of resources and so on. So it requires a lot of attention. That's what I can tell you. It requires a lot of attention. It requires a lot of discipline. You shouldn't be the type of person, if you are diabetic, that does not pay attention to his body. You should know every little details about your body. How often you use the toilet, how often you urinate, the color of your stool, how your body reacts to different food. When you eat this food, you feel sleepy. When you eat this food, you feel energetic. When you eat this food, you feel dizzy. You should pay attention to every single thing. Because paying attention to every single thing is going to help you. Because in fact, medical doctors prefer educated patients. When I mean educated, it's not about going to school. A patient who is educated, who understands what is going on in his or her body. Because when you are being asked questions, the way you give answers, if you are educated, if you understand how your body works, if you understand what to pay attention to, helps anyone who wants to take care of you, compared to somebody who's just lackadaisical about their health, who do not pay attention, who do not even want to bother about anything, who just want to totally rely on a medical doctor. Physicians find such kind of patients difficult to handle compared to somebody who is educated. Okay. Now, when you begin the journey to overcome diabetes, you might think you are doing this for yourself alone. Okay. So you might think, I'm the one who's affected. So if I take care of myself, it's for me. If I don't take care of myself, it's for me. No, 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 no. That's a big lie. Let me tell you the truth. If you are taking all the necessary steps you need to take to help you reverse diabetes, to help you conquer diabetes, you're not doing it for yourself alone, especially if you've not given birth. Okay. You are doing this for your unborn children and your generation. Why? When you leave diabetes to take control, when you just give up, and the diabetes is active, is yes, active. See, you can, and if you're not giving birth, you can pass active diabetic genes to your children, and the cycle can keep on going on like that in your lineage. Okay, you were lackadaisical about taking care of diabetes, so you give birth, you can pass active diabetes gene to your children, and if this continues like that, and your children too also are lackadaisical, are not willing to overcome this, they can also pass active diabetic gene to their children's children, and it keeps on going like that, and it becomes something we call generational curse. In Africa, everything is spiritual. Start praying that from the fourth generation before you, they've been dying of diabetes. Your mother died of diabetes. Your grandmother died of diabetes. Your great grandmother died of diabetes. Your great great grandmother died of diabetes. So this has become a norm in your family. Okay? So if you understand what I'm trying to say, you will know that it is your task. If you are affected right now, if you are diabetic, it is your task to make sure you reverse diabetes for the sake of your children. In fact, even if you've given birth, let's say you've already passed the active gene, if you are going to be a source of motivation to your children, even if they are affected in the future. So when you yourself, when you're able to reverse and conquer diabetes in future, if your children are also diabetic, they're going to take you as a reference point that when their mom or when their dad had diabetes, he or she was able to conquer it. So to give them the encouragement and the motivation to go after conquering and not just managing. Okay, but if you as a parent, you've already given birth and you've already passed probably the active diabetic gene to your children, and this diabetes was something that led to complications, your children spent so much money, a lot of issues happen, and you eventually died from that problem. In the future, when your children are also affected, they lack motivation. They feel they've gotten their death note because that's what killed their mom, that's what killed their dad. Now I'm having it. I think it's my time to also die. So that motivation to go out for what they can do to help them conquer is not going to be them. So it's not just about you. So if you understand this, you need to know that it is your task to reverse diabetes and not allow it to relapse, because some people have been able to conquer diabetes. Some people have been able to do a lot of things to help them, win, to help them gain control. But after gaining control and living being happy, so many people go back to their old ways. They go back to what they used to eat. They say the diabetic diet, what they told them not to eat, they're already getting tired, they're already doing this, they're already doing this, they start giving different excuses. Okay. Just like there's a story of in the Bible where the Israelites were taken out from Egypt, going to the promised land. They were taken out from bad situation. They were taken out from slavery. So after getting into the wilderness, they start complaining to God that why did you even take us out of it? They were being taken to somewhere better. So that's what happens to a lot of people too. When they are down with diabetes, they pray for a way out. And when they get a way out, they see the evidence, it happens, they're able to conquer it, they see themselves. It's not somebody said, they see it for themselves. After a while, they go back to all those trash that they were eating, they go back to that bad habit, and this relapse. Okay, the remission relapses. And when you have diabetes and you're able to maybe bring it to remission or able to reverse it to an extent, if you play too much and diabetes comes back again, it comes with revenge. There's diabetic revenge, there's diabetic retaliation. That means by the time it's coming back, if it's relapse again, it's going to be tougher than the previous time. So now, what you were using, the method you used to bring it to reversal the previous time, might not be as effective as it was now if it has gone to relapse and you want to bring it back again. So the old ways, things you were doing, the food you ate, the supplement you took, the drugs you took, the method you did, form of treatment you had that brought it to remission the first time, if you allow it to relapse, if you try those form of treatment again, you might not, get that result as fast as it was or as fast as you had it before, because it's going to be coming with revenge. The blood sugar will be so high that you'll be scared. Okay, so you must know that your task is to reverse diabetes and not allow it to relapse. If it means having lesser option of what to eat, if it means having lesser of option of what to do and how to do it, it is better for you to eat less or for you to have lesser option of food to eat and enjoy your life than having all the varieties of food to eat and get down with this problem. Okay, now for some people, I hope you're with me. I hope I'm communicating. Now, diabetes can either be a disorder or a disease. It depends on you. It depends on what you want it to be. So you are the sole controller. You are the one in charge. Okay, it depends on what you want it to be. Do you want it to be a disorder, or do you want it to be a disease? It depends on you. Okay. Yeah. Now, a disease is an abnormal condition affecting the whole body of an organism, while a disorder is just an interruption of normal function. So to an extent, I can easily say, maybe, let me just explain this way. A disorder is just, a little disorder that you can easily take out and refix and put it back and everything work normal. So more like a disorder is more temporary. It's a temporary issue, while disease is something that happens to probably the whole body. Let's just put it that way. So your diabetes can either be a disorder or a disease. It depends on what you want it to be. Diabetes is when blood sugar issues goes from normal to pre-diabetes, then from pre-diabetes to diabetes, and from diabetes to complication. Now, one thing that a lot of people are getting wrong is that they feel when they take their blood sugar, they say they're just pre-diabetic. Being pre-diabetic, you're already sick. If you follow through tonight, you understand. If you are pre-diabetic already, you are already sick. In fact, it's already late. You're already sick. Stop making jokes or stop being happy that you are pre-diabetic. You are already sick. You're already down. As long as your blood sugar is not normal, it is abnormal. Whether you are pre-diabetic, whether you are diabetes, whether you are early diabetes, whether you are already in complication, you are already sick. So blood sugar issue, diabetes, when your blood sugar issue goes from normal to pre-diabetes, then to diabetes, then to complication. Complication is when start having it affecting other organs like your eyesight, your kidney. We're having peripheral neuropathy, like affecting your legs, nerves, and all sorts. Okay. Now, at the complication stage, it is always very, very difficult to reverse diabetes. Once you've gotten to that complication stage where you're already having wounds on your leg or your hand that is not healing, you're already having tinglings in your legs, you're already having numbness, it's already affecting your kidney, that's affected your eyesight. It is very, let me tell you the truth, it is very difficult to reverse. So if you are the type of person who has already gotten to that complication stage, you shouldn't be the type of person who should say the treatment for you is expensive. You are at a at a stage where you need to do something very quick, no matter how much it's going to cost you to be able to preserve your life. Okay, so that means if you're already at complication stage, most times that means you already had diabetes for more than 5 years. So it has destroyed a whole lot of how your body works, and it will have started affecting other organs. Now, reversal and remission is always very possible when you are pre-diabetic. When you're pre-diabetic, it's always very possible and easier compared to other stages. And when you are at early diabetes stage, that means you just have diabetes for maybe a maximum of 2 years. It's still easier. But when it's getting to 3, 4, 5 years and above, it is going to be something you have to sit with. It will cost you attention. Okay. All right. Now we measure blood sugar by there's random blood sugar test and there's fasting blood sugar test. Fasting blood sugar test is will give you something more accurate, to give you a result more accurate that you can work with. Okay. So fasting blood sugar test, for people who don't know, must be done after about 8 hours to 12 hours of fasting. Fasting does not necessarily have to be fasting. Fasting means abstinence from food. Okay. So you must have abstain from food for minimum of 8 hours and maximum of 12 hours. Now, let me just put this to perspective. That means if you know that you want to take your blood sugar test tomorrow, okay, let's say you are taking it by 8 a.m. That means maximum tonight you can eat your meal this night. Your last meal should be maximum 8 p.m. tonight, because 8 p.m. tonight to 8 p.m. tomorrow morning is 12 hours. That's max. Anything outside of that, no, or minimum of 8 hours. That means if you're taking your blood sugar test 8 a.m., that means you can still eat up to 12 midnight. So from 12 midnight to 8 a.m. is 8 hours. Okay. So you must have been on a fast, or you must have been fasting for minimum of 8 hours and maximum of 12 hours. Okay. Because it shouldn't exceed that 12 hours, because after a long period of fasting, if you fasted for too long, your body begins to release growth hormone. This growth hormone helps to keep you active even when you are hungry. That's why you still have energy when you are hungry. And when your body releases growth hormone, this growth hormone helps to release glucose into your bloodstream to help you, to give you energy. And when glucose is being released into your bloodstream, it alters your blood sugar level. And once glucose is being released into the bloodstream, your body also releases insulin to help you mop that glucose into the cell. So there will be alteration. So once this happens and you measure your blood sugar, you won't get that accurate result. So between 8 hours to 12 hours, and is best done in the morning. Do your blood sugar, fasting blood sugar test in the morning. That's the best time. Okay. All right. So 8 hours to 12 hours. Now the expected values, the expected results you should get is someone is saying my voice is not clear. Is that true? Is it true that my voice is not clear? Let me know in the chat. Okay. Let me know if you can hear me loudly. All right. So the expected values you should expect is for if you are okay, your fasting blood sugar should be between 70 milligram per deciliter to 100 milligram per deciliter. That's 70 mgdl to 100 mgdl, or 3.9 millimoles per liter to 5.6 millimoles per liter. So 70 milligram per deciliter to 100 milligram per deciliter. So that's the normal fasting blood sugar. Now, when your fasting blood sugar is between 100 milligram per deciliter to 125 milligram per deciliter, then you're already getting what you're not supposed to get. You should start treatment immediately. You start paying attention to your lifestyle, start monitoring your glucose level. Yes. Don't wait until you get diabetic. Don't wait until it's become full blown. Once you are pre-diabetic, take yourself as sick. You're already down as well. You need proper attention at that point before, because it is easier to reverse pre-diabetes back to normal than when it has gotten to full-blown diabetes. Okay, so between 100 milligram per deciliter to 125 milligram per deciliter, then you need to start paying attention immediately. Not just paying attention, you need to start doing something. Start adjusting your lifestyle immediately. Now, if your fasting blood sugar is now 126 milligram per deciliter and above, that's when diabetes is diagnosed. That's when a lot of you wait for before you start taking care of yourself. I'll tell you why it's already late. Don't worry, just stay tuned. Okay. Now, there's another one we call the HbA1c test. If it is the HbA1c test, that's the hemoglobin A1c test that you do. This shows your average blood sugar over a period of 2 to 3 months. So the normal A1C is usually 5.7% and below, while pre-diabetes A1C is between 5.7% and 6.4%. Then for diabetes is between 6.5% and higher. Now, sugar. There's no way I'm going to talk about diabetes that won't mention sugar. Okay, I know you're already expecting. Now, let me break this down to you. Sugar is a poison. Simple and straightforward. Don't try to make it look better or sound better. Sugar is poison. Simple. Now, sugar causes a lot of problems. For those of you who are still eating sugar, sugar causes a lot of health problems. You think when you measure your blood sugar and your blood sugar is normal, you think you are good to go to eat a lot of sugar. No, it's not just about diabetes. It's not just about your blood sugar. Do you know that sugar can affect a baby's brain and give them something called ADHD, which is now common right now? That is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. That is like when you have a brain that is very, very active, a brain that is too active, so that it is too active to the extent that it makes it a little harder for you to focus and sit still. It happens among children right now. And when it happens to them, when they get to school, they find it very difficult to focus, find it very difficult to pay attention, they find it difficult to sit and learn 30 minutes, 20 minutes, they're already tired, already sleepy, their mind is already gone somewhere else. ADHD is now a crazy problem right now. And one of the root cause is sugar. Another one is that sugar in an adult's brain is one of the things that leads to dementia and Alzheimer. In fact, Alzheimer disease is now called diabetes type 3, in case you don't know. Diabetes type 3. Okay? So sugar in an adult's brain. Sugar in your eyes is what causes glaucoma. Sugar in your teeth causes cavity, hole in the teeth. Sugar on your skin makes you age rapidly. You start having wrinkles faster. Okay? Sugar in your sleep, insomnia. Sugar in your blood, hyperglycemia or diabetes. Now, sugar in your entire system, cancer. Do you know that sugar feeds cancer? Now, sugar in the market, okay, sugar out there is a $1 billion industry profit. Sugar niche, that niche is making superb money. Sugar makes companies money. So pay attention. Know what you should do. Be very smart about that. Because it is making them money, they will never preach against it. It's making so much money, and a lot of things are being built on that money. So anyone who wants to preach against sugar will be silenced. So understand that is why you might not see, nobody will write it on the bottle of Coca-Cola that the sugar in here is, can affect your health. No warnings on any food that contains sugar, because it brings $1 billion profit every year to big corporations. So anybody who wants to expose this or who wants to emphasize this will be silenced. If the person has influence, will be silenced. Okay, so understand that. So sugar is your enemy. Now, yeast. I'm still talking about sugar. Yeast also thrives on sugar. So when you have too much sugar in the blood, it is a condition for yeast infection. So if you are always the type of person who gets infection every time, especially women, it's time for you to check your blood sugar. So it's not only about diabetes. It's time for you to check your blood sugar. Now let's talk about remission and reversal. You see, reversal is when, I said, diabetes is when you move from normal blood sugar level to pre-diabetes, then to diabetes, and then to complication. Now, reversal is when you go from complication back to diabetes, back to pre-diabetes, and then back to normal glycemia. That's how it happens, depending on the stage you are where you want to start reversal. So if you're already at the complication stage, reversal means you first reverse from complication to diabetes. From diabetes, in fact, diabetes is late and it's early. Then from there, you reverse to pre-diabetes before you now come back to normal. It's not, you can't just jump from complication to normal blood sugar. You can't jump from diabetes or late diabetes to normal blood sugar. You have to go back that step. So you went from normal sugar level to pre-diabetes to early diabetes to late diabetes to complication. So when you're reversing as well, you come back to that. So it's not a day's job. It's not a week's job. It's not a month's job. It takes a while. It takes a while. Sometimes it's not 2 months job. Sometimes it's not 3 months job. It takes a while. Gradual reversal. But for a lot of people, when they start making that effort to reverse and they start seeing some improvement, what do? They go back to their old ways and this thing relapses back again. And when they try to make effort to bring it back to reversal again, it's now tougher and harder. Okay. All right. So when you're able to move from complication to diabetes or from diabetes to pre-diabetes and then back to your normal sugar level without having to rely on medications anymore. So when you are saying reversal, that means you've gotten back to your normal sugar level and you've been able to go on without having to rely on insulin or medication. That is when you can say you have brought your sugar level back to remission. If you still have to use medications, it has not gone fully into remission. Okay, so gradually that way, it keeps on going that way. Okay, should somebody who is unable to reverse or who is unable to, cure in quote is supposed to be reversed? Okay, is somebody who is unable to reverse their diabetes be depressed? Well, that's a big question that a lot of people ask because there's a reason why that question comes up. Because one of the important things that must take place if you want to reverse diabetes, especially type 2 diabetes, is that you must lose about 15 kg of weight. Right. One of the things that must take place if you want to reverse type 2 diabetes is that you must lose about 15 kilogram of weight, 15 kg. Now, here's the problem. There are diabetic patients who already have lost so much weight. There's a diabetic patient who is just 48 kg. You cannot tell somebody who has diabetes and is 48 kg to lose 15 kg out of 48. Abba. So losing 15 kg out of viable. So in cases like this, remission and reversal might be difficult, more difficult than somebody who has huge weight. Somebody who is 80 kg and has type 2 diabetes, it's easier to bring down compared to somebody who's already lightweight. And bringing down weight is one of the things that helps in remission. So for people whose weight are not so much, it's always a little bit more difficult than somebody who is on the high side. Okay, to bring back to remission, but it's not impossible to bring back to remission. I'm not saying management, to bring to the level where your blood sugar will be normal and you can go on for days, for weeks, for months without having to take drugs or insulin. That's what I mean by remission. Okay, all right. So you shouldn't be depressed, but you just know that you need to work harder. Both cases, both people that are obese and people that are not obese need to work hard. Okay, so when you get diabetes into remission, you're not just doing it for yourself, like I said, you are doing it for your generation. Now, when you get to diabetes remission, you should not consider yourself cured. That's why I was particular about using that word earlier on. When you get your diabetes back to remission, you shouldn't, consider yourself cured. Don't go to church and go and do Thanksgiving that you are cured. Just like when you are using your medication properly for HIV, when you're infected with HIV, you're using your drugs properly, normally, and you're keeping a good lifestyle. If you do that properly and you follow your doctor's recommendation and doctor's guide, it will get to an extent where when you do a blood test will no longer be able to find HIV, that virus in your blood anymore. That's the time most people go to church and they do Thanksgiving. You are not cured yet. Your viral load has just gotten so low that a blood test can no longer detect it anymore. It's still there. It could be dormant, but it's still there. Okay? So when you go to church and do Thanksgiving, understand how you use your words. So same as diabetes, when you bring diabetes to remission, that does not mean you are cured. Okay, don't consider yourself cured. You should still follow that diet and the guideline, everything you did that helped you bring the diabetes remission, you still have to follow it. Don't not stop them. because when you stop, the diabetes can relapse, and when it relapses, it's coming with vengeance. It's coming with annoyance. That means it's going to be on a higher level than before, tougher to take care of. There was a patient of mine. Um, his case worsened after remission. He was able to bring his diabetes back to remission after months of work, everything we did together, cost a lot of resources, time, and effort, everything. Able to bring it back, but something happened. The blood sugar surged after after bringing back to remission. He went back to his old ways. Went back to trying out all those foods, taking alcohol. He has missed all those lifestyle. This thing came back, and when it came back, the mistake they made was that when it came back, when there was an emergency, the children believed it was a spiritual attack. So they rushed him. Instead of rushing him to the hospital, he was rushed to a herbalist place. Yeah. So he was admitted in a herbalist place, in a spiritualist place for months. So this, was one of the things that even killed him. He later died eventually, but the complication came up. That was when he had his leg amputated and all this. So when you get to remission, don't consider yourself cured. That's another mistake people make. You are not cured. You can do Thanksgiving, you can appreciate God, you can give gratitude, but you are not cured. You still have to follow all those things you follow that got you to remission. You still have to follow them. Okay. All right. Now, let me break down the chemistry behind diabetes, because once you understand the chemistry behind something, once you understand the chemistry, how something came to be, and you can check the loopholes or the weak points. You want to understand the weak points, the weakest point of diabetes. So you're going to be making use of that diabetes weak points to overcome diabetes. But you need to understand the causes and the chemistry behind diabetes. Have you asked yourself that why is it that even people who are on drugs, metformin and all these, still get to complication stage? They were diabetic and they were placed on drugs, do this, and were using drugs. But eventually, after years, their case worsened and they still eventually die from complication, maybe kidney problem or whatever. Okay. What happens? Because drug alone cannot help you. That's a fact. Drug alone, taking metformin and all this alone cannot help you. In fact, the way diabetes is being treated this day is absolutely partial or incomplete. What most of the doctors out there call diabetes is not what it is. Most doctors focus so much on the blood sugar levels only. Blood sugar level, when your blood sugar level is high, it is called hyperglycemia. And that is one of the major signs of diabetes, not the only one. Pay attention. These are where the mistakes have been committed. Hyperglycemia, high blood sugar, is one. Diabetes is not just about blood sugar, but high blood sugar is one of the signs. High blood sugar is one of the major signs of diabetes. It is not diabetes. Okay? High blood pressure is one of the symptoms, one of the major symptoms of hypertension. High blood pressure is one, is let's say the major symptom of hypertension. High blood sugar is one of the major signs of diabetes. It is not the only sign of diabetes. I have to emphasize that so that you understand. So focusing 100% on blood sugar is wrong. You can't focus 100% on blood sugar. You understand right now? Because there are other crazy stuffs, there are other crazy things happening in the background, different from high blood sugar that you don't know. Of course, they could be interrelated, but if you don't understand this, you won't pay attention to them and you focus on just one side and you just find out that you're having issues. That is why most times people who are even on medications still get to the complication stage and they eventually die, because these medications and these treatments are focused only on high blood sugar, neglecting other signs, neglecting other crazy things happening in the background, which is some of them are as deadly as the high blood sugar itself. Okay. All right. So your doctors caution you to, stop eating carbohydrates or bring down your carbohydrates. Of course, yeah, consumption of high carbohydrate diet is one of the leading causes of high blood sugar, hyperglycemia, which eventually leads to diabetes. And the consumption of high carb diet is crazy these days. These days we eat so much. Never in history has mankind eating so much carbohydrates. 80%, 70 to 80% of our food these days are carbs. But most people suffering from diabetes don't have this deep understanding, and it creates some sort of fear. Now, that carbohydrate in itself, inside carbohydrate is like a room. Inside that carbohydrate room, we have sugar, we have starch, and we have fiber. So carbohydrates comprise of sugar, starch, and fiber. Sugar is a simple carbohydrate found in sweet things, and sugar rapidly increases blood sugar level. Now we have starch. Starch is also present in food like rice and potatoes, and they have also been broken down into glucose over time. That means starch takes longer time to spike your blood sugar compared to sugar. Sugar is fast, it brings your blood sugar rapidly high. But starch takes time to be broken down into glucose, so it affects your blood sugar level gradually. And the last one is fiber. Fiber also is also in the room of carbohydrates, but fiber is a complex carbohydrate. So it is found in grains, it is found in a lot of vegetables, and because it is a complex carbohydrate, it doesn't spike your blood sugar, so quickly. In fact, some of them are not even easily digested. They're not even easily digested. So we have sugar, we have starch, we have fiber. So the understanding of this, what you are what you are going to avoid completely is that sugar and then starch, but you can still go on to add fiber to your food. But that first one, sugar. So any food that contains sugar that can rapidly, has we call it high glycemic index food, that can rapidly increase your blood sugar level. That is one of the core that you have to stay away from. Because they tell you to stay away from only carbohydrate, but you don't understand. Glucose that the body gets from carbohydrate is one of the body's most preferred source of energy. We have carbohydrates in other foods too, content of carbohydrates in other foods. Do you know that some people even categorize beans? There's a school of thought that categorize beans as carbohydrates, while some school of thought categorize beans as protein. Some categorize as carbohydrates. Even protein and fat, the body still brings out glucose from these foods for body energy. All right. So for those that are monitoring diabetes, for those who are already diabetic, monitoring your carbohydrate intake and opting for fiber-rich choices can help you. So when you're eating carbohydrates, even if you're eating carbohydrates, it has to be a carbohydrate that has so much fiber. Now let's go deeper. That's just intro. I hope you are with me. All right. Now, when you eat yam, or we eat yam, yeah, we eat rice, we eat bread, we eat pizza, we eat shawarma, we eat snacks, we eat potatoes, we take gari. Okay, I'm sure a lot of Nigerians are here. We eat pasta, pastries, we eat biscuits, we take soft drinks, we take energy drinks, alcohol, we take swallow, eba, amala, pounded yam. We take sugar, etc. Sugar is a pure crystallized acid, that is extracted from sugarcane plant. A pure crystallized acid, sugar. Like that's why I started at the beginning that sugar is poison. Now, do you know that 1 meter measurement, 1 meter of sugarcane, 1 meter of sugarcane is equivalent to 1 tablespoon of sugar. So 1 meter is about the length of an average adult from your waist to your feet. An average adult, that's about 1 meter. Okay, so 1 meter of a sugarcane, as long as that, will give you 1 tablespoon of sugar. Imagine that means a tablespoon of sugar is dense, is smart. So even when you say not to take sugar, we are taking it in little quantity. That little quantity you are still taking is still crazy, because just 1 tablespoon of sugar was made with a whole 1 meter of sugarcane. That means when you take 2 tablespoons, that is taking about 2 meters of sugarcane. On a normal day, when you sit down and you're being served sugarcane, you might not be able to even finish 1 meter of sugarcane. But 1 tablespoon, as long as you use 1 tablespoon in your food, you've eaten about 1 meter long sugarcane. 2 tablespoons, 2 meters. 3 tablespoons, 3 meters. Imagine. So that's how crazy it is. So we're talking about this, we're talking about total abstinence. Stay away from table sugar. Don't use it in little quantity. Stay away from it. Okay. So now, this food that I mentioned, yam, rice, pizza, flour, sugar, potato, gari, pasta, snacks, biscuits, soft drink, all of these foods, they are broken down into glucose, And when they get into the blood, after being broken down into glucose, it goes into the liver. Okay. Now it is the liver that now determines where it goes. So after taking it, they've been broken down into glucose, passed into the bloodstream, and then into the liver. And the liver now controls where it goes. So the first place the liver sends this sugar to is to your cells for energy. Your cells, billions of cells. Now, glucose is the body's favorite source of energy. So your body derives energy from glucose, energy for you to do your daily activity and for your organs to perform. Now, every single cell uses glucose. But for these cells to be able to receive glucose for use as they are coming from the liver, for your cells to be able to release it, something must happen. An organ called the pancreas must release an hormone called insulin. So it's this insulin that helps to open the door of the cells so that glucose can go in for your body to be able to, for your cells to be able to absorb it and make use of it. Okay. So there was a day I had a lecture with a group of patients in a clinic in one part of Africa. So most of the patients, they were weak, they were old, they were fragile, they were sick, and all sorts. Some of them couldn't even walk very well. Some of them were assisted there. Now, as we began, suddenly there was a tire outburst very close to the place. A very bang sound from the road, very close to the clinic. Before I knew it, almost everyone seated already ran away. They took to their ears, trying to look for, where they can hide to save themselves because of that sound. And when we were starting, most of these people were fragile. Most of them were weak. Most of them were sick. Most of them couldn't walk. So where did they get the energy from? Where did they get the energy to jump up and run from? Okay. Also, if you had fasted before, fasted 3 days, 7 days, you didn't eat. Do you notice that even when you didn't eat for 1 day, 2 days, you still had some energy to go to work? You still move to an extent. Okay. Sometimes when you even fast, after a couple of days, your body just adjusts and the first day you might be so tough, you might be so weak, but the second day you just find out that you are just energetic. Where is this energy coming from? Why you're not eating? I'll explain and I'll show you how this relates to diabetes. You see, when you are on a high carbohydrate diet, when you eat food that is very rich in carbohydrates, okay, your body converts glucose, your body converts this food to glucose for your cells, and at a point, the cells get filled up. The cells get a lot of glucose already in it, and the cells can no longer absorb any more glucose. And when this happens, excess glucose is converted into glycogen. Yeah, excess glucose is now converted into glycogen because your cells are filled up already. Please pay attention to these details. Your cells are already filled up already. So for some people who take insulin shots, you might not need that 100%. It's not as if some people's diabetes is from the fact that the cells is filled up already. And when the cells is filled up, there's nowhere the glucose wants to go than to stay probably in the blood sugar, than to stay in the blood, and this increases your blood sugar level. I'll come there. Okay, don't let me get the idea of myself. So at the point the cells get filled when you're eating high carbohydrate diet, okay, and it can no longer take glucose, and this excess glucose is converted into glycogen. It is this glycogen that serves as a reservoir of energy that your body uses when you are fasting. So those days when you've not eaten, when you're fasting, and you're still able to go to work, you're still able to walk, you're still able to do exercise, and you've not eaten, your body is tapping from the glycogen it has saved over a period of time. Okay. Now, after your body saves or stores excess glucose as glycogen in the liver, and there's still more glucose, you are still eating more. The body now the liver start converting the excess glucose after it has saved the excess as glycogen. The more excess, the extra excess, the over excesses will be saved as fat. Now be converted into fat, and this is where the problem begins. Your body starts saving the fat or storing the fat in different parts in the liver, around your organs, around your heart, around different organs, in the bloodstream, different places, and this is where the problem begins. Now, the pancreas is an organ that is saddled with the responsibility of regulating your blood sugar, just as the way kidney too also serve as one of the most important organs when it comes to blood pressure. The pancreas is saddled with the responsibility of regulating your blood sugar. So when the blood sugar is low, the pancreas brings it back to normal. When the blood sugar is high, the pancreas brings it back to normal. Okay, right. So when the blood sugar when there's too much blood sugar, the pancreas releases insulin to mop this blood sugar and send it into the cell. And when the blood sugar is low, the pancreas releases glucagon to get your blood sugar back to normal. When the blood sugar is high, it releases more insulin to bring it back to normal. And when the blood sugar is low, it releases glucagon to bring it back to normal. Can you see? So it's in charge of bringing high blood sugar to normal, and it's also in charge of bringing low blood sugar back to normal. That's the pancreas. So it's working hard every day. Now, what causes diabetes in itself? The first one, there are about three I'll mention here, three scenarios. The first scenario is that when you are always eating a high carbohydrate diet, your pancreas will have to release a lot of insulin to be able to mop out this blood sugar from the blood into your cells. However, when your body is already bombarded with insulin too much regularly, when you're eating too many high carbohydrate diets and your body is being bombarded with insulin regularly too much as a result of you eating too many high carbohydrate diets or food, the insulin receptor, the cells that wants to take in the glucose has insulin receptors. So the insulin receptors becomes overwhelmed because you are eating a lot of high carbohydrate diet and your body is always releasing insulin. These insulin receptors becomes overwhelmed and they start repelling insulin. So when they repel insulin, blood glucose won't be able to penetrate into the cell anymore, but they'll be forced to stay in the blood, and this leads to increase in blood sugar. This is what we call insulin resistance. When the insulin receptors have become overwhelmed and can no longer take in insulin and and glucose, and when insulin can no longer come in to bring in to serve the cells glucose, the glucose will have to stay in the blood, and the glucose level in the blood will start rising. So what leads to that? Insulin resistance. People are not really talking about insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is, in fact, as important as blood sugar. Okay, all right. So when this happens, the glucose in the blood won't be able to move into the cells, and this makes the blood sugar level very, very high. Okay, that's one. The second scenario is that when you are always on high carbohydrate diet, too much glucose, and your cells are already filled up with glucose, but you still keep on taking carbohydrates, you still keep on taking more glucose, still keep on feeding your body more glucose. The liver now starts converting all this excess glucose into glycogen, and when there's an excess of glucose still after converting some to glycogen, the liver start converting them into fats. And if the glucose in the cell is filled up, and you still continue to take in food that will become glucose or that will give your body glucose, the cell can no longer take them. Coupled with your insulin resistance, the glucose will now have to stay in the blood, and you have high blood sugar, hyperglycemia. Can you see again? Another thing came out. So your cell being filled up and insulin resistance. So there are three things here. Your cell is filled up, you're having insulin resistance, and then high blood sugar. But you are focusing only on one, high blood sugar. You're not focusing on insulin resistance and others. All right. The third scenario. That is, I'm just trying to explain to you why, even while you're on drugs, you find out that you're not getting improvements, and you find out that your case is even getting worse every day. Okay, now the third one is when you eat too much too often, or when you eat too often, eat 9 a.m. Before 10 a.m. you've eaten again. Before 10:30 you've taken snacks. Before 1 o'clock you've taken tea. You're always eating too often. You're always eating in between meals. You're eating very, very often, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Your mouth is not always, resting. You're always eating. Before your insulin, because when you eat now, your body releases insulin to help you, mop the glucose out of the blood into the cells. Now, so when this insulin that is being released starts mopping the glucose in the body into the cells, the more glucose that is being mopped out, the lower the insulin level. So let's say you ate some food right now, your body releases this level of insulin to be able to match the glucose in the food. So as the glucose in the food is reducing, being mopped into the cells, the insulin levels keep on dropping. The insulin level in your blood keep on dropping back until it get back to normal. Now, what happens is that when you eat and your body releases insulin to mop out the glucose in the food you ate, and as this is going on, the insulin level is coming down, coming down. But before it got down, you've eaten again. Once you eat again, what happens? The body releases more insulin again, it will go back again. As this is coming down, in 1 hour, 2 hours, if you're already eating again, another one, your insulin goes back again. Come down, you eat again, goes back again. This will make your pancreas get overworked because pancreas is not having any rest. Before resting, is that you've eaten again, you release another one. Before eating again. So your pancreas become overwhelmed, overworked, and your insulin receptors, the insulin receptors in the cell that is receiving insulin and bringing in blood sugar too, will also get worn out. And that's the problem. So these are the three scenarios. Okay. All right. But there's another question that might be on your mind right now. Some people ask that why do people who have diabetes sometimes get low blood sugar? They have diabetes, which is high blood sugar, but sometimes they just get low blood sugar and they feel dizzy and they collapse, and and they have to take sugar. They have to take sugar, they have to take soft drink to bring it up. Okay. Why? Let me answer that. But make sure have you subscribed? Have you subscribed? Make sure you subscribe to this channel so that all right. Now there's a saying that the harder or the higher you go, the harder you fall. Okay. If you want a tennis ball to go so high, bounce it so hard on the floor. Okay. All right. The higher you go, the harder you fall. The higher you go, the higher you fall. When you're just this high from the ground, when you want to fall, the impact is not felt. When you're this high, when you want to fall, the impact is felt. That's the same way. So when you eat high glycemic food, when you eat food that are converted into sugar very quickly, like flour, like table sugar, like soft drinks, and all sorts, these foods spike your blood sugar. It brings your blood sugar very up so fast. And in response to that, the pancreas also releases so much insulin to be able to bring down the sugar level actually. And when the insulin level is released so much, it brings down your sugar level too much below the baseline. There's a baseline for our sugar level, a level at which your blood sugar should not go below. Okay, so when your blood sugar rises, let's say this is the level at which your blood sugar should not go below. When you eat a high glycemic food and it brings your blood sugar high, it spikes up so high. So your body also releases that volume of insulin to help you bring it down. So because insulin is so high, it brings down the blood sugar so harshly below the baseline, and this is what leads to low blood sugar among people that have diabetes. So, and this happens when this happens, they tell you to drink soft drink, take sugary stuff, but this has a side effect because this keeps the cycle going on. Coca-Cola that you are taking, the soft drink that you want to take, is also high glycemic. Now, let me bring it down. This is the baseline. This is where your sugar level should be. But let's say you ate something that has so much sugar. You ate cake, and it brought your sugar so high so quickly, and your pancreas also releases insulin so much to tackle that high level of blood sugar. And because the insulin was so much, it brought down your sugar level below the baseline, and you start feeling dizzy. And they said, give him Coke, give him Coca-Cola, give him whatever, give him sugar. And you took sugar. Remember, sugar, Coca-Cola are also high glycemic. What will happen when you take sugar and Coca-Cola? It will bring you up so high again. And when it brings you up so high again, your body also releases insulin, and insulin brings it up down so actually again. So you now notice that you always have repetition of these things. So you're always having low blood sugar almost every day or almost every week. But this thing always happens often. I am diabetic, but I notice that I'm always having low blood sugar once in a while. It's because of what you're eating. It's because of how you're taking care of this. So what you're eating will bring it up so high again, and the cycle keeps on going. So what do I advise? What do I advise? I know that will be your question. Okay. Of course, when this happens, most times always an emergency. Well, you take your whatever you want to take that can help you bring your blood sugar up. But I always advise you to mix orange and honey. Orange and honey. But if it's an emergency case, you have to take something that has sugar, Coke. That's the common one in Nigeria. Fine. But we have one hormone. We have one hormone called insulin that helps us bring down our blood sugar. And then, but we have 5 to 6 other hormones that helps us increase our blood sugar. Insulin helps us bring down our blood sugar when it's too high. We now have 5 to 6 other hormones that help us bring up our blood sugar when it is too low. The first one is glucagon. Glucagon is released from the pancreas. The second one is adrenaline. Adrenaline is from the adrenal glands, just at the top of the kidney. The third one is cortisol. Cortisol is also from the adrenal glands. And we have woman growth hormone, HGH, youth hormone, which is released from the pituitary gland. We have noradrenaline. We have thyroxine, which is released from the thyroid gland. We have about 6 hormones that when your blood sugar is low, they are starting with responsibility to bring it back to normal. So what you need to do is to learn how to activate this hormone. in a good way. Okay. So one of the ways is to do what we call high intensity interval training. I'm coming there. That means if you are diabetic, exercise is a priority. You cannot escape exercise. Diet alone cannot help you totally. Diet is one of the most important things to adjust, but exercise is very important because exercise is what helps you bring your human growth hormone, all this thing back to help you raise your blood sugar. Okay, so if you're always having that issue of having low blood sugar, even when you're diabetic, then exercise. Exercise is the way to go. Even for everybody, even if you don't have the situation, you need to have exercise regularly. Okay. All right. Now, when your blood sugar drops so low, by the time your these six hormones that I mentioned, adrenaline, cortisol, thyroxine, human growth hormone, non-adrenaline, and all sorts, okay, they help to convert the fat that the liver has saved from excess glucose back into glucose to balance your blood sugar level and give you energy. Now, when your sugar level drops, by the time the brain instructs the body to release these six hormones or any of them so as to bring your blood glucose back to normal, a lot has already happened. That is why you are having it, so difficult. A lot has happened. What has happened? The pancreas, which is meant to release glucagon to help you bring back your blood sugar to normal, is already worn out. You've been eating high glycemic food, it has released insulin, that is already worn out, it's already tired. The adrenal gland that is meant to help you release adrenaline, noradrenaline, cortisol is already worn out because you're always taking caffeine, you're taking uh, um, um, cola nuts, or you used to take coffee, you used to take tea, you used to take energy drink, you used to take all these things that contain caffeine. That's what some of you take, and this wear out your adrenal glands. You have been a chronic stressful person. Let me just put it that way. You've been on a chronic stress. You're always stressing yourself. No time for rest. You believe anybody that is resting is lazy. You're already wearing out your adrenal gland. You've worked, 5 jobs, 6 jobs trying to make ends meet. Your adrenal gland is already worn out. So by the time your body needs the adrenal gland to release adrenaline to bring back your blood sugar to normal, adrenal gland is already weak. It's already weakened. It's already weakened because you have high blood pressure for a long time. It's already weakened because you have deficiency of magnesium. It's already weakened because you have deficiency of vitamin B5, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, and you're always consuming energy drinks. You lack adequate sleep. You don't rest enough. Adrenal glands are already weak, so they can't come to help. The pituitary gland also cannot help you release human growth hormone because you don't exercise regularly. The thyroid gland also cannot help you release thyroxine to bring back your blood sugar normal because you have high level of estrogen in your body. So the next time you have blood sugar crisis where your blood sugar suddenly drops beyond the baseline, eat fruit and honey or take whatever emergency trick you want to make use of. But as from that day, make sure you start doing exercise. Exercise is very, very important. Now, what are the solutions to diabetes? Diabetes. Okay. Are you with me? Are you with me, everybody? Are you with me, everybody? Let me know. Are you with me, everybody? Let me know in the chat if you're with me. Okay. Now let me go to the solution. Okay. But before I share some of the solutions which I want to let you know, I need you to listen right now. Please listen. If you've not heard anything since morning, please listen here. If you are diabetic and are listening to me right now, it's already late. Hold on. If you are diabetic and you're listening right now, it is already late. If you have your blood sugar test and it reveals that you are diabetic or pre-diabetic, it is late already. Let me explain why it is late. You see, when we eat anything, our body converts it into glucose, which is a form of sugar. Then the insulin picks this up and takes it to the cell for energy, and the cell thanks insulin. Insulin, thank you for bringing me energy. Thank you for bringing me glucose today. Thank you for bringing me food. Now, the problem occurs when we keep eating and the cell is filled. There, the cell starts saying, no, I'm filled up. Don't bring me more food. It's okay. I'm filled up. But you keep on eating, and the insulin has to keep on mopping the glucose in the blood to the cell. But the cell is saying, I don't need any more glucose. I'm filled up. Here, your body doesn't know what to do. What does your body do? what will your body do when you're eating too much? And when you continue eating and your body is having so much glucose, your body will keep on producing insulin. Body keep on producing insulin. And as this insulin is taking the glucose in the blood to the cell is saying, I'm filled up. The one you gave me yesterday, I've not even touched it at all. I have a reservoir of food. I'm okay. So what happens? The cell starts resisting insulin from bringing in food, from bringing in glucose anymore. That's what we call insulin resistance, like I explained. Now, insulin must not let go of this glucose. So your body, your cells have declined. They're no longer taking this glucose. But your insulin must not release it because insulin has mopped this glucose from the blood. It must not release it because if it does, if it releases the glucose back to the blood, that's when you have high blood sugar diabetes. Because combination of high blood sugar and insulin resistance diabetes. Now, so what does the body do? The body now starts storing this glucose as fat in different parts of your body. In the belly, start having protruding belly. It stores it in around the organs. Let's say this is your heart. Your heart is supposed to pump this way, but that means your heart needs space. I'm just giving that example so you understand. Now, because your body is now storing fat everywhere, body now stored fat around the heart. Heart no longer has enough space to beat. Start saying you're having tightness of the chest, your heart beat, you're having palpitation and all this. Okay. All right, so your body starts storing all this in cholesterol, triglycerides, creates fatty liver, and all sorts everywhere. It starts converting the glucose into fat in different parts of the body. Now start getting bigger. That is, and there's some fat that the fat around your organs will not make you bigger. The fat in your blood vessels that is blocking your blood vessels will not make you bigger. Okay, so it's not everybody. That's why it's not everybody that is fat that has diabetes that has to be fat. Your own fat might be stored along the blood vessels and around that might not make you look fat physically. But when the fat is being stored under the skin, under the flesh, it might make you look fat so quickly. Okay. Now, when the body now has no other place to store this fat, the insulin will finally give up. And once the insulin gives up, what we do? It will drop the glucose back into the blood. It is until when your insulin gives up and it drops the glucose back into the blood, that is when you test yourself. You do blood test and they tell you that you have high blood glucose. If the insulin has not dropped the glucose back into the blood, when you test yourself, you still be normal. No diabetes, you are okay. Meanwhile, you are not okay. The cells are filled up. Your body is now saving excess glucose as glycogen and as fat. Insulin resistance has already taken place. Fat are now obstructing different activity in your body, though the insulin has not dropped the glucose back into the blood yet. So at that point, you're already sick. So if you are doing just blood sugar test and they say your blood sugar is normal, that does not mean you are okay. So by the time the insulin gives up and finally drops the glucose back into the blood, it is already late. So I've taken about 2-3 years of this thing that will have happened in your body. That's happened sometimes 5 years, 7 years before the insulin now finally gives up and drop the glucose back into the blood. That is when you now test yourself. You tested yourself today, you now find out that you are diabetic today. It did not start today. The insulin resistance that led to that has been going on in the body for years. So if you are that's what I said at the beginning, that if you are diabetic right now, it is already late. If you are pre-diabetic, it is already late because you have had years of insulin resistance happening before you finally became diabetic. That is why it is hard to treat. It's not something you do for 2 months and you're expecting reversal. No, diabetes is not something you treat for 3 months and you're expecting reversal. You continue. And that is why when you go to the doctor and they check your blood sugar, you should always know. Anytime you check your doctor, my blood sugar is always normal. It's always normal. But you could be walking around with a state of insulin resistance and you don't know. So blood sugar test will not reveal insulin resistance. So by the time your blood sugar test becomes abnormal, by the time your blood sugar level becomes abnormal, you've had insulin resistance for years. A lot of destruction, a lot of anomalies have taken place that you now want to correct now after discovering that you're diabetic. So it takes years, days, months. Okay. Now, there is a separate test that you do to review insulin resistance. It's called insulin tolerance test, ITT. So you go for insulin tolerance test. It's different from blood sugar test. Okay, that's why I said at the beginning that the focus is always on blood sugar. There are so many things happening in the body different from blood sugar that a lot of people are not paying attention to, that are as deadly and as dangerous and as important as blood sugar. Okay, so go for insulin tolerance test. Let me type it in the chat. Okay, insulin tolerance test. ITT. All right. So if your nutrition is off, you're always eating anything you see, no caution. You are carrying fat around your belly. You have your cholesterol level is elevated. You have a family history of diabetes. You have a family history of obesity. You are a smoker. You are an alcoholic. Don't let blood sugar test fool you. Don't rely 100% on blood sugar test. You could probably be insulin resistant. So you say you have a family history of diabetes from your great grandparents. You died of diabetes. But you've been going to the hospital every month right now for the past 2 years, and you've been testing yourself, and your blood sugar has been normal, and you think you've escaped. You might not have escaped though. The day it will hit you, you'll be like, but I've been checking myself for years and nothing. How come? How come is what I just explained now? Because you didn't check for insulin resistance. Okay, so go for insulin tolerance test. Now, what are my solutions? Very quickly, the first one is food. First one is food. Okay, if you got that, let me know. Just type ITT. Type ITT. So the first one is food, fiber. Most plants are high in fiber, so eat a lot of plant foods. Natural fruits are high in fiber. Vegetables are high in fiber, and you see the cause of diabetes is complex, like I just explained, is beyond just blood sugar level. But somebody is very unlikely to develop diabetes solely from eating fruit. Okay, so don't let them tell you that fruit is the cause of diabetes. Okay, no, no. Okay, the fiber content in your fruit helps to slow down the absorption of sugar. Okay, but make sure you get natural fruit, organic fruit, and your fruit should not be blended. Your fruits, don't juice your fruits. Okay, another thing you can do to fruits to make it super healthy for you if you are diabetic, you might not have had this before, is to always combine nuts with your fruit. Have you heard of it before? Combine nuts with your fruit. You can try out apple and granite. You can try to combine nuts with your fruit. Combine nuts with your fruit. So a fruit plus nut helps. Okay. Also, don't juice your fruits. Take orange in the natural state. Okay. Even when you want to make smoothies, if you want to blend your fruit to make smoothies, make sure you bombard that smoothies with food that are high in fiber, like oats, like brown rice. Guava too is high in fiber. Watermelon, cucumber, and oats. Okay, so bombard it with oats. Okay, to help you, balance the fiber level in the fruit so that your body don't quickly absorb the sugar to spike your blood sugar level. The second one is protein. Okay, the second one is protein. Protein is also super essential. Protein is very essential. Foods like legumes, food like beans, soya beans, peanuts, okay, even seeds like chia seeds, flax seeds, sunflower seeds, even nuts like cashew nuts, like walnuts, like granules. But I prefer boiled granules to roasted granules. And also then even mushroom. If your tribe, if you eat mushroom, or you can learning how to eat and cook mushroom, please go for it. Mushroom is very good. Though you have to learn very well, because there are some mushrooms that are not edible, that are poisonous. Okay, while there are some mushrooms that are edible. So you have to learn from those who understand. There are tribes that eat mushroom. Okay, mushroom is also very, very rich. Even egg, you can eat one egg per day, and you can eat fish. Okay. All right. Another one is fat and oil. I've talked about now. The best oil for you as a diabetic patient is coconut oil and olive oil. To make your food, coconut oil and olive oil. Leave seed oils, leave vegetable oils. Okay, maybe in another episode, we'll be breaking down the effect of all of this oil that we are taking. Coconut oil and olive oil. Get the original one. Another statement I used to make, those who know me know me. Because you bought a food from a grocery store does not mean it is original. Because you bought your olive oil from a big grocery store in Nigeria, from a big grocery store, does not mean it is organic or good. Does not mean it is 100% good. Does not mean it's automatically good. Okay? All right. You understand? So don't just go buy oil with your eyes blindfolded, thinking because you bought it in the grocery store, it's going to be okay. Somebody is supplying the grocery store. Think about that. Okay. You still have to check. Okay. So if you want to know how to check for food, know how to read food ingredients to know which one is okay for you, I have a book on that. Okay, you can send me a message later on. I have a book that will help you understand how to check food. Some people don't know how to investigate. So when you want to buy any food at the grocery stores, how to check the ingredient to know whether this is for you or not. Okay, that's you can send me a message if you want to get the book. Okay, it's just for a little price. Okay, so the oil good for you is coconut oil and olive oil. Then always keep your oil away from light and air. These days, oil are being sold in transparent container. It is bad to sell your oil in transparent container. Oil are meant to be kept away from sunlight because the more sunlight on your oil, the more chemical changes that occur, which can even lead the oil into becoming poisonous. So keep your oil away from. In the olden days, if you notice, groundnut oil and all this oil are being sold in tin, not transparent 5 liter keg, right? These days, no. So keep your oil away from light, keep your oil away from air. Don't make use of oil and after frying, you kept what is left to be reused again. It is bad. The reuse of oil is bad. Exposing oil to air is also bad. Okay, so that's that about oil. Also, you can eat an egg per day. You are allowed to eat one egg per day because one egg contains the total cholesterol you will need for a day. But I advise you to eat egg that, well, it might be difficult to get. So all these poultry eggs, okay, natural one, a hen that, let me go there, okay. But egg, you understand what I'm saying? There are egg that comes from hen that are organic in a way, that hen that are not kept in the poultry being given feeds. Okay, egg from them, and even those chicken are not so, they are not as good as egg that comes from hen that are organic. Yeah. Okay. But one egg per day is okay because one egg contains the cholesterol that you need for a whole day. So when you eat one whole egg, you have to be watchful. You have to be careful of other foods you eat that day that contains cholesterol because one egg already gives you the volume or the quantity of cholesterol you need for a whole day. So if you want to eat multiple eggs, you can eat maybe 2 egg whites, the white, and take the yolk off. But going there can lead you to temptation. One egg per day is enough. Then another food you eat again is soups and salads. So this, if you as I'm listening this, will help you understand that you have varieties of food to eat. Okay, so for some of you who don't know the variety of food you can eat as a diabetic patient, these are the things I'm listing right now. Soups and salads. You can eat different vegetable soups. You can eat different vegetable salad. Soups are cooked. Salads are not cooked. So you can eat different vegetable salads: lettuce, spinach, pumpkin leaf, water leaf, bitter leaf, pathfinder, parsley, okra, all of those leaves, different ones. They have so many vegetables in Nigeria. Don't restrict yourself to the vegetable that your tribe eats only. Eat vegetable from other tribes too, and then combine vegetables. Combination of vegetable is perfect. Make sure anytime you're making vegetable soup, you don't make just one vegetable. Combine leaves, 2 or 3 leaves in your vegetable. Okay. In fact, eating carrots and cucumber alone, combination of carrot and cucumber, or carrot and tomato, is a complete salad. Carrot and cucumber is a complete salad. It's a complete vegetable salad. Or carrot and tomato is a complete salad. So vegetable soups and vegetable salads. Okay. Then you can also eat low glycemic index food like unripe banana, green banana. And when you want to make use of green banana, there are about 4 ways to take green banana. Are you with me? There are about 4 ways to take green banana, unripe banana. The first one, you can boil this banana and eat. So when you want to boil this banana and eat, don't take the peel off. Just cut it into chunks, put it inside your pot, pour water, boil, you can add some little salt, boil. And when you want to eat, that's when you now take off the peel. Okay, don't peel it off to boil. You can boil it that way and then fry your egg or make some stew and eat it just like you're eating your yam. That is one way. The second way, you can grill it, the one they call boli. You can grill the plantain and eat. That's the second way. The third one is you can dry it up and grind it into powder. There is a banana flour to make swallow. You can dry it up and then grind it, make it into powder, make it into flour, and make it into swallow. That's the third one. The fourth one, you can boil it with the peel, and after boiling it, open the peel. But instead of eating it directly, you can then pound it like pounded yam. Yes, you can pound banana like pounded yam. So these are about 4 ways. So you can boil it, you can grill it, you can dry it and then grind it into flour and make swallow. You can boil it and then pound it and take it also as swallow. Another low glycemic index food is millet. Okay, then brown rice, then basmati rice, then avocado, carrot, tomato, cucumber. Then milk. For those of you who are diabetic, hell no to milk. You thought I was going to tell you to take milk. No, milk is going to kill you. Avoid pasteurized milk. It contains denatured protein and destabilized carbohydrates. Avoid all this packaged milk. Instead of taking all those milk, if you want to take milk, if you can still manage plant milk in moderation, like coconut milk, like almond milk, like tiger nut milk, yes, you can still go with those ones. But all this pasteurized milk, no, no, no. Okay. Then avoid caffeine. Caffeine causes the pancreas to release glucagon, which gives you a lift, and this increases your blood sugar. So caffeine indirectly increases your blood sugar. So if you are diabetic and still taking coffee, avoid coffee, both the coffee and avoid it. Stop walking close to temptation. Soft drink, most Coca-Cola contain caffeine. Stay away from it. A lot of painkillers contain caffeine. Okay, so you have to watch out as well. Energy drink is not for you. Stop taking energy drink. Energy drink is going to kill you. It's going to finish your liver and kidney. Okay. Cola nut is not for you. Some tea bags contain caffeine. Stay away from them. So caffeine is a no for you because it wears out your pancreas so quickly. Then avoid margarine. Margarine, no, don't take margarine. Okay. Then when you're having, some of you are already having tingling sensation in your feet, you're always feeling numbness in the feet, you're already having complications, you're already having signs of peripheral neuropathy, whereby your hand, your extremes, hand and leg, are already feeling as if it's numb, as if it's dead. You need to go for food that contains vitamin B12. So go online and check foods that contain vitamin B12 or vitamin B12 supplements. You need a vitamin B12 supplement. Go for vitamin B12 supplement. Okay, check it out. Okay, then you need to supplement vitamin B6 and vitamin D. Vitamin B12, B12 vitamins, B6 vitamin, and vitamin D. Then another thing you add, if you're already having foot issues, your leg is already feeling numb, is every morning you take 2 teaspoons, not tablespoon, 2 teaspoons of cayenne pepper, powdered cayenne pepper. You mix it with warm water and then you take it one. And then you can also rub cayenne pepper on those parts where you're already having numbness, or tingling. On your leg, you can rub cayenne pepper on them. You can rub fresh cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper in Yoruba is called atashombo, okay, or bawa. So you can rub it on the part of your leg where you're already having numbness and all this. It helps. I talked about exercise. I talked about high intensity exercise. Someone's asking, are you talking about banana or plantain? I said plantain, green plantain. Okay, high intensity interval training or rebounding. So high intensity interval training is like when you are doing an exercise, you do an exercise for about 30 seconds, very fast, to speed up your heart rate. Like you run for 30 seconds. And after 30 seconds, you slow down, just jog for 90 seconds. Then you run again for 30 seconds, high intensity. Then you bring it down 90 seconds. Just relax. But when you're relaxing, you don't stay at the spot. You still keep on moving, but it will be slower. Catch your breath. Then you go 30 seconds again. So it could be at the gym, it could be you are jogging, it could be that you are skipping. You skip very, very fast. Very fast for 30 seconds. then you slow down. You still keep on skipping, but you slow down for 90 seconds again, then go again for 30 seconds. So you can do that about 6 cycles. That is high intensity interval training. So you do an exercise very, very fast to bring up your heart rate to the and next time you will be gasping for breath. Then you slow down again. But while slowing down, don't stop. You don't sit down, you don't talk. You still keep on doing that exercise, but you slow down the rate a bit. Slow it down. Then after 90 seconds, you go again for 30 seconds, speed up. So you do about 6 cycles. So this helps to release human growth hormone. And when your body releases human growth hormone, which is also called youth hormone, it helps to empty the cells. Your cells are already filled up with too much glucose, and your body is no longer receiving. Your cells are no longer receiving glucose. It helps to empty the glucose in your cells. It helps to burn it so fast. It helps to empty your glycogen reservoir. It helps to burn out all those fats so that your body can now absorb glucose that is in your blood. Then your insulin receptors will become reactivated, and then it helps you bring your diabetes back to remission and help you conquer insulin resistance. Okay. Another thing you need to do is earthing or grounding. Make sure you're always walking on barefoot on natural ground at least 1 to 2 minutes or maybe 15 minutes per day. But if you're already having issues with your leg, peripheral neuropathy, whereby you're having wound and it's no longer healing, or you're already close to that level, make sure you are careful of where you place your leg on. Don't go and place your leg on sharp objects. But connecting with nature regularly also has its own way of helping you overcome diabetes. So go outside once in a while, maybe in the morning, and just walk barefooted, walk barefooted, not on tiles, not on interlock, on natural ground, natural soil. Okay. Then water. Some of you are scared of taking water because you have nocturnal incontinence. You can't hold urine. But do you know that the pancreas needs water to produce insulin? So you take water. Just like you might not take so much towards the evening. In the morning and afternoon, take so much water so your body can make quality insulin. And you should take about 8 glasses of water per day. When you're taking your water, you don't take a full glass or 2 full glasses of water at a go. No, you take half glass of water at a go. And when you want to take half glass of water, when you want to take this water, this is a trick. You get something we call Celtic salt. Go and search Celtic salt. I'm not going to tell you where to get it, okay? I don't sell it, but it's what you need. Search for Celtic salt. Okay, I'm typing it. Okay, it's in the chat. Celtic salt. So when you want to take your water, half glass of water, you add a pinch of Celtic salt in it, and a take. So when you want to drink water, you drink half glass at a go. Maybe after 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, you can take another half glass. So if you are taking 8 glasses of water per day, that means you have to take half glasses for 16 times. Okay? So, but for each time, you add a pinch of Celtic salt in it. A pinch of Celtic salt in it. It helps. It helps. Just hold it that way and try it. Okay? Now, another one is sleep. If you don't know, when you are stressed, your body feels you are in danger. Your body feels as if probably you're in danger. Maybe a lion is running after you. And one thing happens when your body senses that you're in danger. The body releases cortisol, which is a stress hormone. It releases cortisol because this cortisol is what will help you convert fat into glucose. And it is this glucose that will be pumped to the muscles, your muscle cells, to give you energy so that you can escape the danger. Meanwhile, you're not in danger. It's just that you've done so much work, or you've overworked yourself, and your body is stressed. Now, I didn't mean you're in danger, and your body senses you're in danger, and it releases cortisol and adrenaline and all this, which helps you convert fat into energy, and it supplies your muscle cells. Your muscle cell, the one for the leg and the hand, for you to run. It's okay. But now, you are not in danger, but your body feels you are in danger because you are stressed. Now, it is releasing cortisol, adrenaline, and all of these to help you convert fat back into glucose. But now you are not running. You have nothing to escape from. What happens? The glucose increases your blood sugar. So not resting, stressing yourself will not make your blood sugar level go down. I hope I'm communicating. That is why when you are stressed, if you notice, you're always craving for sweet things. Your body needs sugar to be able to supply energy to the muscle cells to run. You're always craving for sweet things. Okay. It also happens when you're tired, when you are scared, when you are frightened, when you are anxious. So you need to rest. A well-rested body handles blood sugar issue better. You need good rests. Okay. All right. And then there's one last thing I'll share here. There's one last tip I'll share here. Maybe two. Okay, let me just put it this way. Some of you, maybe you've been on diabetic diet and all sorts, but you once in a while you want to try out, the normal food. There's a trick to it. Let me just share this trick. Please don't make use of it. Don't use this wrongly. There's a trick to it. The first trick is that when you, let's say you are at a party or whatever, and you feel just want to try out this food that you're supposed to stay away from, what you should do is that you should take apple cider vinegar before your meal. So just get a half glass of water, mix 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar with it. Take it about 30 minutes or 1 hour before you eat. It helps to slow down the speed at which sugar is released into your blood when you eat. That is one. Two, normally, even if you are not trying to eat the bad food, there's an order of food that you have to go through to help you, reduce the frequency of your body's sugar spiking. The order is you eat fiber food first, then protein, then carbohydrate. So when you want to eat in the morning, let's say you want to wake up in the morning, you want to eat, don't go and eat carbohydrate first. You eat fiber first. The fiber creates like a net, like a mesh in your body to help slow down whatever carbohydrate that is coming, to slow down its conversion into glucose, and it makes it very slow to spike your blood sugar. So eat fiber first, then protein and carbohydrates. Let's say you want to eat in the morning, you can first eat vegetables before you start eating the rice. Okay, this will help you slow down the sugar coming from the carbohydrates. Then another one, which I want you all to try right now, because it is in abundance in Nigeria, but we don't know the power, is okra. We've seen many people with diabetes who have reported being able to decrease their blood sugar level after doing this. After this, what I'm about to share with you, with okra. Do you know okra? Okra. When we make okra soup, that draw soup, okra, is very, very powerful for diabetes. Okay, but this is how you make use of it. Get about 5 okra pods. Are you with me? Okra pods. Get about 5 of them, big one or medium size. Wash it thoroughly. Make sure they are clean, and then cut off the end. Cut off both ends, the head and the tail. Now, after cutting off both ends, slice it open into half, vertically. Yes, vertically into half, and then put it inside about 3 cups of water. Get a bowl, pour 3 cups of water in it, and then pour this okra into it. I said 5 okra pods. If you slice 5 okra pods into half, that means you have about 10 halves. So you pour it inside that jar, then you cover it, then you soak it overnight. Then the next day, you squeeze the pod into the water, and then take the pod out and start drinking the water. People who have tried this have, reported an amazing decrease in their blood sugar. Okay, so try okra therapy. Try that therapy and give me feedback on the community. Okay, all right now. So I'm sure you must have been blown. I'm sure you must have gotten what you should get. I've shared with you what you need to know about diabetes, how it occurs, its weakest point, and how it can overpower it. Now, if you need more enlightenment, if you want to work one-on-one with me, you can book a one-on-one consultation with me. Okay, I'm going to be putting the link on the screen right now. Okay, that's the link on the screen. You can book a one-on-one consultation with me. It's a paid consultation, okay, and it's a 2-phase consultation. Okay, so there's day 1 and there's day 2. Okay, so for day 1 it's just for 30 minutes that things will go through, and what I'll tell you to do, they will fix the next call. Okay, so you can go to that website, www.wellnesswithayo.com/booking to book a session with me, call session with me. It's going to be a private session, one-on-one. I am getting so very busy right now that I'm trying to squeeze out time. Okay, but I give priority to those who book one-on-one session with me. Okay, so if you've seen that you need to book a session with me, so that we can, help you conquer diabetes or other chronic illnesses. Go to that site, www.wellnesswithayo.com/booking, and book uh book a session with me, and then we can take it up from there. I hope you have learned something. If you gained value today, let me know in the chat. If you gained value today, let me know in the chat. One, if you are going to apply what you learned today, or you've seen one or two or three things you're going to apply today, let me know in the chat as well. I'm right here with you in the chat. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Do you gain value? Drop it in the chat. Have you subscribed? Make sure you subscribe right now. Okay. The only thing you can do to keep us motivated, to keep us doing more, is if you like this. If you like this kind of classes, then hit the like button below the screen there, so that we know people like this, that we can do more of this. If there's not so much like, it means people don't really like what we are doing, so we might not do much of this anymore. Okay. So if you like this and you want more full exposition like this, where we expose what you need to know, understand about, even if you eventually have to go to the hospital, you're already educated, and doctors love educated patients. Patients, not educated that I mean is not you going to school. Somebody who understands the sickness, somebody who understands is our body. It makes the work of physicians with doctors so easy. Okay. So if you like this, click the like button and subscribe. Let us see. Click the like button and subscribe. Okay. Wow. So many people are giving so much feedback. I gain value. Okay. I've learned a lot today, and we practice it going forward. That's good. So it's not just about learning, it's also about implementing and practicing what you've learned. Okay. Adekunle Adibare is saying, I gained a lot. Let me see. There are so much comments flowing in right now. Bolu Steve, thanks, doctor. Alubo Sunday says, yes, I gained value. Shegun Akimbola says, yes. Okay. Justina gained value. Mrs. Florence, I will apply. Yeah. I gained so much. Yeah. Okay. So once again, the link for you to book a one-on-one consultation with me, one-on-one, is on the screen right now. You can take a screenshot, get on there, read whatever is on that page, follow the instruction, what you need to do, about 3 steps. First thing, second thing, third thing, to be able to gain access. Okay. The calendar is already getting booked up. I had to clear some space for those of you who are in the community. Okay. My calendar is already booked up. Let me just tell you the fact. All right. So I cleared it. So go on there. It will tell you the instruction you need to follow, and then choosing a date and the time that's convenient for you and that's available for me as well. So do that before all of the dates are taken up. Okay. It is a paid consultation. It's not a free consultation. It's a paid consultation. But what you are paying is nothing close to the value of your health. Okay. So let me just take a couple of questions. And then we continue the rest on the community. Couple of questions, 1 or 2 questions. Okay. Now, when you are making use of some of these things you learn here, if you're already on drugs, continue with your drug. Okay. Continue with your drug while doing this. But it is best for you to be under guidance. That is why I recommended that you book a one-on-one consultation with me. It's best for you to be under guidance, because when you continue this with you've been on drugs for 10 years or 5 years or 2 years. You don't just stop your drug. You don't stop your drug and say you're going for natural therapy. No, it doesn't work that way. Your body's already used to how the drug helps you to suppress your blood sugar. You don't just stop it. It's just like when you are breastfeeding your baby and your baby gets to an age where you want to stop breastfeeding him or her. You don't just stop breastfeeding the baby. You wean them off gradually. You used to give them breast milk 5 times a day before. You start reducing it gradually to 2 or 3, and then you add food. You start reducing gradually over some days, some weeks, some months. Okay. So just stop your blood sugar, especially if you have been using it for more than 1 year. Just stop it like that. Okay. All right. So your body's already relied on it. So gradually, as you're taking the drug, you are doing other things, gradually you start seeing a large drop in your blood sugar. So you know how to aggregate and which to adjust, which to reduce gradually. Okay. But it's always very good for you to be under guidance, under supervision. Okay. So book that one-on-one call with me before the slot is taken off. Okay. All right. All right. Somebody's saying, I like the topic. I'm not diabetic, but it is all practical. Yeah. In fact, even if you're not diabetic, everything we said here you can do. Remember what I said, that for a lot of people who are diabetic, by the time they know that they are diabetic, it's already late. So many of us are working with insulin resistance and we don't know. So if you have big belly, if you have skin tag, if you always find it difficult to lose weight, insulin resistance might be already there. While you were young, before you reach menopause, if you always had issue with menstrual cramp, it might be. If you always had issue with your digestion, you eat but it takes long before you get before the food goes, or you eat too much, you get hungry quickly. Any of those things could not it does not directly mean you have insulin resistance, but it could be. And even if you know yourself that you've not you've not taken your nutrition proper for a long period of time, it could. It could. If you have issues with your sleep, it could. If you have high blood pressure for a long time, insulin resistance could be there. So a lot of us are already working with insulin resistance. It might take maybe another 10 years before we become diabetic. So all of these things which I shared, you can also do it. The exercises, the high intensity interval exercise, the okra therapy, and all of this is something you can also do. It does not affect you. It can help you prevent. These are preventive measures and reversal measures. If a pregnant woman is okay, somebody's asking, my wife is pregnant and was diagnosed of diabetes in pregnancy and now is dieting. Yeah, there's something, it's called gestational diabetes. And most times after delivery, the blood sugar issue will go. But most women who have diabetes during pregnancy always have a higher risk of having the real diabetes later in life. Yeah, most people who had gestational diabetes while they were pregnant, most times in 10, 15 years time later in life, they will now develop the real proper diabetes. So when they're talking about their story, they say, "Ah, I used to have it when I was pregnant, but thing left when after I gave birth. My baby has even grown up now. I don't know where this thing now came back from. I don't know how. Normally to go, but you have to be under proper supervision. So she has to do everything that she's been told at the hospital right now. Everything that she's been told, she has to do it. And after delivery, even after delivery, even if the diabetes goes, she has to begin all of these, preventive measures because she's at a higher risk of developing diabetes later in life. Okay. And remember, I said when you are able to conquer diabetes, you're able to bring diabetes to remission, and maybe you now go back to your old ways and diabetes relapses. It's always harder, it's always tougher to conquer when it relapses. It comes with vengeance. So immediately she gives birth, even if this diabetes goes, she still has to now have that duty to start monitoring her health and doing all of these things that can help her prevent diabetes. Okay. I said green plantain. Okay. Yeah, this is a very good question. Aderonke is asking, can one who is not diabetic still take this therapy? Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, 100%. Yes. Okay. Yeah, this is another good question as well. Does bitter leaf and ephedrine help? Bitters does not have any effect directly on your pancreas. Bitters might, help you, conquer. That's why I explained all of this at the beginning here. Bitters might have some effect on the sugar level in the blood, but the insulin resistance, like I said, most times people and doctors are focused more on the blood sugar level for diabetes. Diabetes is more than blood sugar. That is why even if you take bitter leaf from now to the end of the world, diabetes will not go. Diabetes is more high blood sugar is called hyperglycemia. is just one of the major signs of diabetes. It's not the only one. Insulin resistance is crazy, if not even crazier than blood sugar levels. So bitters, bitter leaf, and all this might have some effect on the blood sugar level, but does not have any effect on the pancreas. Does not have any effect on insulin resistance. Does not have any effect when it comes to the release of insulin. Does not have any effect there. It may have some effect based on the blood sugar level, blood sugar. So yes and no. So the bitters help, but it helps with blood sugar levels, but does not help with insulin resistance. So if your blood sugar level is low, what I'm trying to say, even if your blood sugar is low, that does not mean if your blood sugar is low and you are working with insulin resistance, let's just say you're already that you are almost diabetic already. Okay. Yes. All right. Okay. What I will do is that I will I know I don't usually do this, but I will leave this class up here for you to rewatch and reabsorb. Okay, because I don't want this to take too long. And then um let's take our conversation back to the group. We'll be having a Q&A session on group maybe tomorrow if I'm chance, or next tomorrow, where you can ask your question and I can answer. I don't want this class to be too long. Okay. All right. I am sure I've been able to deliver, and I want you above all to make use of what you've learned here today. Don't just close your phone now and go back to your usual life. Once we are done right now, make preparation of how to implement this, how to incorporate this into your life as from today, or maybe as from tomorrow, so that we can start getting feedback from you, positive feedback from you. And for those of you who are already down with diabetes, you can see on the screen the link there. Book a one-on-one call with me with on that link www.wellnesswithio.com/booking. Book a one-on-one call so we can have a private conversation and I can tell you how we can create a plan for you. Okay. So I thank you very much for tuning in. I love you all. And if you are not on the group, if you just saw this on if you're not on the group, the link to join the group will be in the description. The link to book a one-on-one call also will be in the description. Okay. So the link to join the group is just wellness with IO forward slash join. Wellness with IO forward slash join. So you do that, IO and blessed.